Hey, Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles, that great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, what we're going through right now is the latter times, is the beginning of the latter times, of the latter days, I should say. The beginning of Esau's downfall. All his supreme secrets are being exposed right now. You know, you got like 8 years ago, they murdered like 60 holistic doctors within that same year, and those stories are being brought up are being brought up nowadays once more. You know, people, because Esau has it to where you can time travel to a certain degree. You can go back in the past, you know, check out stories and bring it forth now in nowadays with footages and stuff like that, you know. So the people that were there that are not here no more, you could bring them back, you know, through footage and stuff like that. That's a form of, you could say, time traveling. I don't want to say it like that, but yeah. Anyway, so Esau is being exposed right now on all fronts by his own, of course, by the Jacob descendants, going back since the 60s that I heard of, which I believe, which is the elder Abba Bivens. He started that. Well, look, I know this. Now you have people, carefully, listen carefully what I'm saying. I'm not. Let me say it first, and then I don't think you're gonna say like I'm saying something else. Listen, I know about people that in their 60s and stuff like that, 50s and 40s. I'm serious. They've been teaching in West Africa that they're the Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. For example, the Igbo people, they've been teaching that. But I have seen, for example, I saw a interview. I can't find it right now, but I saw not an interview. I saw a guy in the car talking about, you know, because he went from West Africa, now he's living in America, and then he said he came across he said so-called black Hebrew Israelites, whatever, he said that, and then he started saying like, he said, damn, my grandparents taught me that from the 40s and 50s and stuff like that, you know, they taught me that. And around their whole group, they're teaching that amongst themselves, but they don't teach other people, because the other people in Africa, they laugh at them. So they just leave it at that, because they think the word Jew is associated with an Edomite over there in the land of Amalek right now. Is now the land of Amalek. It used to be the land of Canaan, then it was the land of Jacob, Israel, and now it's the land of Amalek. But anyway, so they leave them. But my point is this. The prophets didn't come from West Africa, man. They came from the land of their captivity, which is in America, and that's why I believe that too, that they are the ones that are teaching us. It's not the people in West Africa, because like I said, I talked to a few West Africans, and they said like, well, yeah, we do teach that since the 50s, 40s and stuff like that. So I'm like, damn, how come y'all, I didn't ask it, but I thought in my head, how come? But then, of course, to the spirit, I got the answer, because I just thought, well, the Most High said, in the land of their captivity, they shall remember me and dare call upon my name. So it was not given unto them to teach this word. So this word has come from the west coast of the world. Not coast, but I mean like the west of the world. Anyway, the land of their captivity. Right. So Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh Yahweh, the power of Israel, saying, Write all these words that I have spoken unto thee in a book, which is the same books that we're reading right now, in order to gather the 12 tribes of the nation of Jacob, which are the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indianos. Those are the 12 tribes, and not nobody else. Verse 3. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, which are the northern tribers, and the Judah are the two tribes, and Israel is the other 10 tribes. You might ask yourselves like, so wait a minute, what about Levi? Well, Levi was not a tribe. Well, he was a tribe, but he was not named as that. Dan was there. So in collectively you would say 13 tribes. Well, Dan is not mentioned, so we don't know. I don't know about that. But anyway, it's 12 tribes mentioned in the book of Revelation, chapter 7. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith Yahweh. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. So we had that one time, which is in the time of Zerubbabel, when we came out of Babylon, and then we possessed the land once more, and all that there, you know, and then on and off we lost it and all that there. But in the time of the Assyrian Empire slavery, the 10 tribes, they moved to America. They called that land Azareth. It sounds similar to Azeroth, but yeah, Azareth, something like that. Azeroth is an idol, and it's also a place where I think the king or Og or Zihon had an area there, Ashroth. In the time of Moses, when Moses went to go kill the king Sihon and also the king Og, there was a place there named Ashtaroth, spelled exactly how they spell their god. So they named it after their god, or you know, or something like that. Anyway, so it says right here, and they shall possess it. So the Most High is now, because history repeats itself to a certain degree. Look, it doesn't repeat itself 100%, but it repeats itself to a certain degree. The actions done are similar to the actions done back in the days. The actions done now, are similar to the actions done back in the days, and will be similar to the actions done in the future. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9 talks about that. And also you have this, then therefore you have back in the days, look, back in the days it was the Assyrian Empire that did things unto us. Then, you know, before that it was the Mizraim, and after Mizraim there was Canaan, you know, did similar things unto the Jacob descendants. You had the Philistines, which were Mizraim also, had us in captivity also. You had Aram, had us in captivity and dominion over us also. The Babylonians, they also had the same thing. And yeah, so all these nations, they had their little fun. Even the Medes, even though you don't read a lot about us fighting against the Medes and stuff like that, the empire, the Medes, but yeah, they were there along with the Elam, which is Persian Empire, and they had dominion over Jacob. You know, so, but nowadays, it's Esau. Esau is the one doing all the things that the heathen nations did, but then even more, and also collectively, all up in one, even worse than all the nations did. That's one of the reasons why Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18 is written, just to let them know, like, hey, you're not going to be here no more. So all you clowns that love seeing them and stuff like that, you know, you better have fun right now, because you're not going to be able to do that later on. I know for sure, dudes, I ain't knocking you, man. But anyway, I know for sure dudes trying to, you know, if they believe in it, they're still trying to plow themselves a few Edomite females, because they thinking to themselves like, hey man, we ain't gonna get another chance. It's gonna be in the kingdom, they're gonna be snatched up. Joel chapter 3 shows you that. You know, I will sell your sons and your daughters to the Sabians, which are Cushites. That's Genesis chapter 10, Seba and Sheba. Like for example, the Queen of Sheba, which is Sheba, with a S-H. But the other one, Seba. So Seba and Sheba. Seba is the one that we're gonna, well, it says there, but we know that we're gonna sell them to Mizraim, the other Cush, and also Cush Seba. You know, we're gonna sell them to them. So then you can keep something. If you sell stuff, you can keep it for yourself too. So ain't no rush. Fucking Mount Rushmore type of bullshit. Anyway, so it says right here, verse 4, Jeremiah 30 and 4. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. And by the way, in order for you to understand why they are called Israel and why the kingdom of Judah is called Judah, If you read the book of 1 Kings chapter 12, then you will see it will be explained very thoroughly, very good. Thoroughly, it's a fancy fucking word. It will be explained very good, and then you can get it. 1 Kings chapter 12 is going to explain that to you. Verse 4, for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. So that's the voice that we heard. And that voice is the book of Daniel chapter 9 verse 10, which speaks about the voice of the Lord rising up early. Well, it doesn't say rising up early in that verse, but rising up early. It says rising up early in Jeremiah 25, if I'm correct. But yeah, rising up early before the destruction cometh. So seek ye the Lord while he may yet be found, because now everything is all dandy and stuff like that. People ain't really looking for it, breaking their neck trying to find the Hebrew Israelite videos and stuff like that. You know, they glance at it, man. It's just a glance, you know. They click on the video, not mine specifically. I see it. You know, I see great brothers doing great videos and stuff like that, and they get like 5 views and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? It makes no fucking sense, man. But once you start talking about the world, you're gonna get a lot of views, because you know they love the things of the world. I'm not into that shit. You know, I just run and read. I just read. If something happens like really big, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it, I don't know. But wait. Let me say it different, because that's not a good thing. If like a major thing, I will talk about it. In all the videos, I do talk about it, but majority, I just want to read. Y'all write this out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do worldly videos, because I see the views popping up as soon as I do that, and I'm like, nah, I gotta switch it up. I gotta stay low key. You know what I'm saying? In the back of the bus. Anyway, so it says right here, verse 6. So Jeremiah 30 and 6. As ye know, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned in the paleness. All people are, it's not specifically talking about the Edomites, because in this day and age it was talking about, you know, the ancient empire that was getting messed up. But the scripture says so many multifold. Like I just gave you all the nations, their names. Well, yeah, I didn't give the names, like Ham. I actually said Mizraim, Canaan, Philistine, Ashur, Aram, Japhet, Elam. All those nations, it already happened there. But specifically, when we came back out of Babylon, and then we inherited the land once more, you know. Right, but anyway, going on. But yeah, so it's not talking about specifically like Esau, paleness, but it's more talking about the blood running up out of your system. Now, if an Edomite, you know, if he's scared or something like that, and he turned white like a ghost, like pale, that's because the blood doesn't show forth in his face anymore. It ran toward his heart, because that's where your blood goes to if you're afraid, because now your heart starts racing, trying to keep yourself walking and afloat and not faint. So then it pumps more to your limbs so that you can still be conscious. It pumps to your brain too and stuff like that, you know. But anyway, so let me read it again, verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. So when you're talking about, hey man, we finna go build up a school and stuff like that, and make some money and all that type of stuff, you know, you're making merchandise off of the Most High's work, man. Don't make no merchandise off of my Father's work and stuff. But you have Jacob the son still selling you stuff and all that there. You know, instead of preparing, the Jacob the son is like, hey man, you need to leave all that there. You need to. It's not, oh, you should. No, fuck that. You need to, man. Because if you don't, you're gonna get caught up in those worldly things. Because there might come a day in time where you will have to depart from everything that you are so-called attached to your freaking car, your house, even it might even be your girl and your kids, man. You know, it depends on if they join Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai or not. Because I've seen people like they're not listening to their parents, the children, because they don't believe in Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. They believe in Caesar Borgia and all that. I've seen a few. You know, the guy believes in Yahweh and trying to teach his son Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai or his daughter. Seen that? And they ain't trying to hear it, man. They ain't trying to hear nothing of that. So they're gonna get theirs. Every man will get what they deserve. Every man will get what they deserve. Every man or woman, you too. You're gonna get what you deserve. Everyone. Now, it might be cruel or something like that. For example, if you see the righteous perish, well, the righteous perish because the Most High set it up like that, and plus, he perisheth because the things that will come afterward would be much worse. Or the Most High has different reasons. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. He taketh the righteous in his youth because he doesn't want them to be spoiled in this world and having their mind altered toward wickedness. Like, for example, Psalm 73. Asaph started questioning himself, but later on he snapped out of it, but he still questioned himself, like, why am I doing good? I mean, the wicked is doing better than me. You know, and then the Most High set him up in the sanctuary, which shows you that he was a Levite, because only they were allowed to go up in the tent. Collectively, not said collectively, symbolically, the sanctuary is the nation of Jacob, the elect. But in the physical form, it's talking about the tent, the tabernacle where the Ark of the Covenant was in. That's the sanctuary. So he's talking about that. So the Most High gave him spiritual insight there. Just like when Moses in the book of Numbers chapter 7, verse 89, I think it's 89 or 98. I think it's 89. Anyway, the last verse of number 7, the Most High called Moses, come here. And then he started talking to him and, you know, telling him stuff and stuff like that, you know. And that's the same thing that, well, I didn't say that Asaph was called. I do say that Asaph went into the sanctuary, and then the Most High opened his mind to make him be able to see what's going to happen with the ones that are living lavishly right now off of wicked money and all that type of stuff, blood money and all that there. You know, so it says right here, for thus saith Yahweh, the power, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. That's because the blood rushes out of their face, because they were scared. You know, and that's going to happen in the near future. You already have in the physical form men turning into women in the military. So that's actually physical, but it's actually also symbolic, because once that time comes, you know, all the tough guys and stuff like that, once the time comes in the time of war, they're gonna be like a bunch of females screaming as if they given labor pains. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So we're supposed to be preparing, at least telling the Jacob descendants of the pending destruction that's about to come, and that they believe in it. Because you need to believe in this in order for you to even stand a chance to make it. Because Zephaniah chapter 2, let me get that real quick. Zephaniah chapter 2, which Zephaniah 2 and 1. Gather yourself together, yea, gather yourself together. Sorry, yea, gather together. Let me read it again. Gather yourself together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a shaft, before the fierce anger of the fierce anger of Yahweh come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Most High Yahweh, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. You wrought his judgment. You brought forth the things that you're supposed to be doing. Right? Seek righteousness, seek meekness, here it comes. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. And that's what's happening right now. These holistic doctors are being strangled, man. They're being killed, they're being smoked, smothered, talking about they hung themselves in order to shot themselves, all that type of shit, man. They have, just like in the book of Psalms 64, where it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, right? Well, they was not protected by Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. You know, a lot of them were Edomite doctors and stuff like that, but you had a few Jake in the midst of them too. You had this Edomite, his name is, I put the documentary already in the post thing. Well, the post thing, I don't know how you call it. you know, the post wall of the channel that I have in the back, where you just post stuff and then other people can see it. Well, there, then you can share it with people, and we're well there. I posted that the guy his name is Jeff Bradstreet. He actually had a cure for autism. Well, he died that day. That thing was not meant to be given out like that, or else the Most High would have preserved him, you know. And loose from that, this is the wicked, you know. When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. When the righteous bear the rule, the people rejoice. The fact that you got that's the hit. Oh, check. Jeff Bradstreet, his son, got autism, and then he reversed it. I ain't playing with you. He did it, and then he started to push out further, talking about he has this cure and all that. There, and he's about to announce it. Before he announced it that day, he was dead. Because they ain't playing. They don't want this news to come out. And this has been years ago. And a lot of people still have not heard of this story because the guy is dead. That's what they do. They snuff you out and then there's no more talk about you. I'm going to give you a great example. Tupac and the Outlaws. And when Tupac died, the Outlaws was gone, man. Ain't nobody talking about the Outlaws anymore. Because they was not that beacon of light. Well, same thing with King David. It said that when the son of Goliath and his brother almost killed King David, they wounded him. Then Joab and the other men, they swore and said, we're not going to let you go out with us to battle anymore because because they're going to quench out the light of Israel. It specifically said the light of Israel shall not be quenched because of your death, because it will demotivate people, you know. And that's basically what they do. So they shut them up, and then they can't talk about that thing no more because nobody else is going to step up in your feet unless somebody else rises up. But that's another story. But still, most of the time people are not going to continue to work. And even if they do, like for example, the son of old dirty bastard, I'm just using people that everybody knows because I can do it with other people too, but you don't know them. For example, have you ever heard of Jeff Bradstreet? Most likely not. He has children, but anyway, let me go back to it. Now you have old dirty bastard, his son, trying to make a come up, talking about he's going to start rapping or something like that. Ain't nobody really looking at the celebrities, their children, talking about, okay, I'm gonna listen to you now, or I'm gonna follow you, or whatever, you know, stuff like that. You're the beacon now. No, people don't really do that. Not often. So you have people that are loyal, you know, they're loyal to the father, so they will be loyal to the son also. But that's not for the majority of the people of the planet Earth. They're gonna forget about you. Anyway, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So we wait for that day wherewith the Heavenly Father is going to do this. But we're walking toward it. I could say we're walking toward the time of the saving, because now what the Most High is doing, He's waking up the nation, you know, the elect, through a terrible trembling voice. Meaning, the voice that is out there talking about what is going to come is a thing that is supposed to be feared. You're supposed to shake in your boots, you know, and then that will make you come toward the Lord, because the Most High said in the book of Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So once you start fearing the Lord, what He's going to do to people, like, I don't want to be a part of that, then join Him. Then He's going to protect you. I'm going to give you an example. If you have a woman, right, that committed adultery fresh, right, and then 2 days later somebody beat her up, like her new boyfriend or something like that, you're going to laugh at that shit, man. You're going to be like, gotcha, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But let's say she's your loyal woman and stuff like that, and her so-called, let's say her ex-boyfriend, I don't want to, you know, this is, you know, just for example's sake, you know, you might say that, hey, she's supposed to be a virgin. Okay, I understand that. But let's say, you know, an ex or a guy that she doesn't even know and sees often, but he trying to hit on her and stuff like that. You know, he trying to get with her. And one day he slapped her in the booty or something like that, you know, and then she was like, "No, I'm fed up with this one. I'm gonna call my boyfriend talking about, hey, this guy slapped me on my booty and stuff like that." Now you finna go to work. Now you gotta represent. Well, that's the same way that the Most High is gonna do, because if we out here serving other gods, you're a whore. You know, you slanging that puss. You know what I'm saying? You slanging that worship toward these other heathen nations, their power. The Most High ain't gonna save you, man. You know, it's the same thing. You're supposed to be symbolically the wife of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. Well, in this case, you're supposed to be betrothed, which is engaged, to Yahushua. And if you then therefore break off the engagement by going to another, you deserve that beating. Verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh the Lord of hosts, he's the army, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So nowadays the bondage is not broken. If you being taxed, well, they still making money off of you. And some people might be like, yo, I ain't got no job, I hustle and stuff like that. Okay, cool, cat. You go to the store? Yeah. Well, you still paying taxes because the food is being taxed. So you can't get away from it. You know, you might get away from certain things, but you're not as a whole getting away from it. And if you do, well, fuck it. I just do what Yahweh Shai said, which is just pay their money, pay their taxes. Romans 13, just give them. You know, he's gonna be punished for that eventually anyway, and then we're gonna tax him, and then it's gonna be more fun because all this time you've been paying, so you built up that wrath, that hate. But if you haven't been paying, you might not build up that wrath. I don't know. You might still. I don't know. Everyone is individual. Not everybody thinks the color orange is like beautiful. So everybody has their own minds. Anyway, so it says right here, but they shall serve Yahweh their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Who I will raise unto them. Wait, let me see. Whom I will raise up unto them. So, hey, shit, so that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to set up. Well, he's actually setting it up right now, meaning the elect. He's setting up the elect right now. We will see who is who once that time comes. But he's busy with it according to Psalms chapter 50. He's setting them up in front of everybody so that they can see. Because the world is looking for the sons of the Most High. They don't know the sons of the Most High because they don't know the Most High. 1 John chapter 3 says that, verse 1 and 2. And also the book of Romans chapter 8 also speaks about that. I know that the sun is melting fucking shit, man. I told myself, but I have to put the oil. It's kind of fucked up. Yeah, it needs to stay free from my eyes, man. Anyway, verse 10. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. And that's what we're striving toward, you know, because you don't have anything now in ownership. You don't have anything now in ownership, right? The thing that you own can be taken away from you, even if you already fully paid for it. Let's say you fully paid for your car, right? Okay, stop paying road taxes, see what happens to your car. And will mount up to the effect that he will be able to take it. Same thing with your house. Same thing with your girl. You pay taxes on your girl too. And if Esau wants, he can take them place. By giving her free money, and then she gonna do away with you. He already did that, by the way, in the 70s. That's where it really started. He started giving them like that check, but you needed to get out the house. You thought it was a real deal, but it wasn't. Because look at the kids now. They're all messed up because they don't have a figure to follow after, a man figure, father figure, just a father, and then come the father figure, you know. Anyway. So it says, let me see. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee. So all the nations to where in the midst of that we are, sorry. We're in the midst of where we are. Those are the nations that the Most High is just going to end them. Their whole cycle, their whole climb, their whole prosperity. The Most High is going to shut it down at one time. And then they're going to be at the bottom. And then they're going to stay at the bottom for perpetual eternity, which is where they belong. And they're going to be happy too. We're going to be the real ones that are going to say, we're going to take everything from you, you're going to be happy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Esau is trying to actually steal what the Most High is going to give unto the Jacob descendants. It's not only steal it. Esau is trying to get it with force. He's trying to get that kingdom blessing with force, because in the kingdom, even though the heathen nations are going to be in subject unto the Jacob descendants, they're going to pay tribute perpetually. They're still going to be happy because they're still going to have their things. After 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, then they're going to be let loose according to Revelation 20 and 4 on down. Right. So after the 1,000 years, Esau is going to be exterminated, and then the heathen nations are going to be put back into their own land so that they can rule over their people. But their kings and their queens are going to be our nursing fathers and nursing mothers. They're going to take care of our children for us, like babysit. Not babysit like that, but more as in, look, if there's this Chinese movie, right, back in the days. I forgot the movie name, but it was a movie that documents the life of a emperor child. And then I remember in the scene where the emperor child, there's two scenes. One scene is he made a servant drink piss out of a copper plate where he pissed in. And another scene was when he was older, he started to need glasses. And then the doctor came, and then he pointed with a pen, and he made kind of a cross. But when he went up, the boy, he actually shifted his head upward. But the left and right he can do. He said, hold your head still, and then look to the right and look to the left and follow the pen. And look down and then look up. When he put the pen upward, he actually moved his head because he couldn't see it. And then the man said, like, you need glasses and stuff like that. But anyway, that's that movie. I don't know the movie name. I was very young when I saw that movie. I ain't playing. But yeah, the point is that they had to babysit. It's not even babysit. They had to like be guards and stuff like that. They had to do stuff. Look, I'm gonna show you how humiliating it is. You have this Dragon Ball thing, right? Dragon Ball. I forgot them. Oh yeah, it was Dragon Ball Broly, right? In the beginning of the movie, you see that Frieza-chan, right? The little guy, Frieza, and his father. His father gave Frieza the whole planet, and now the people of the planet were introduced to Frieza. What's his name again? I forgot his name. Frieza, his father. Yeah, that guy. He introduced his son Frieza, and he's small, and then he had them bow down to his son. Like, here, this is my son. He's gonna be your ruler now. And then they had to bow down, and they hated it. But in reality, once we do that, they're not gonna hate it. We're gonna slap you right there. But anyway, in the movie, they hated it. But it was humiliating because behind the scenes, they was complaining, talking about, hey, we're the king, and we gotta bow down to this little kid. They was angry about that. But well, that's gonna be in the kingdom, for real. That's how it's gonna be. Thy nursing, the king shall be thy queen shall be thy nursing mothers, and kings thy nursing fathers, and stuff like that. Meaning they're gonna be servitude. But anyway, so that's what we waiting for, and not to share the kingdom with the heathen nations, as how these so-called Christians are teaching, talking about everybody's going to be at the seat with Yahweh Shai, with your leper ass. Hey, fuck, yes. with your leper ass. You're gonna be at the seat with your house shut. Yeah, man, whatever. Esau's not making it. Not there. I remember there was this movie. I still can't find this movie until this day. I have no idea, but I remember the scene because I saw it. I saw the movie. It was a Jacob descendant, right? He was talking to this Edomite, and the Edomite said, "And dude," because he was asking himself like, "Yeah, was," and he said, "I saw it one time, the movie, and I never forgot it." And then I saw clips of it too, but I still couldn't find the movie. And this was a long time ago. I haven't seen the clips in, man, more than 5 years or 6 years or something like that. But anyway, so I don't know what it is, what movie it is, but I'll find it one day, Lord willing. But anyway, he said, do you let the dogs at your table? Do you let the dogs at your table to eat with you? No, you keep them down there. Well, that's what we do with you. Because the Jacob descendant man was talking to Esau, talking about, hey man, but you hate us, but you watch the sports and stuff like that with the Jakes. You have us on a team. Then he explained something, talking about, yeah, you're there for entertainment's sake. You know, it's not like when you at the table, when you're eating food, that you're gonna share with your dog. You have your dog at the table too. Put a plate for him. You know, put that thing around his. Even though I know Edomites do that, but for the movie's sake, because the Edomites have them dogs licking them plates clean, man. I ain't playing. They do that, man. I seen that, man. They do stuff like that, man. Anyway, for this movie's sake, he gave him an analogy, or allegory, I should say, something like that, to show him how they feel about him, how they feel about us, I should say. But yeah, I forgot the movie name. Until this day, I can't find it. Maybe if I use the software, the so-called AI software, then I'm gonna find it. I'll type in the scenery, and maybe it's gonna find it. You know, the dogs. Yeah, something like that. The dog's not there at the table or something. Well, anyway, let me go on. Verse 11. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I will scatter thee, whether I have scattered thee. Sorry. Yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So we're not getting away. We're not getting away with the things that we did. And I ain't trying to get away with it. Like a fucking criminal. When he does some crime stuff and he get caught, then he's trying to slither his way out of it. It wasn't me, man. He trying to lie. Nah, man. Face it. You did that shit. You got caught. Fuck it. You go to jail now, punk. You're tough, right? You did it. You did it. Fuck it. Just go. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the Jacob descendant should be. Confess thy sins against Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Oh, God did that. Don't be like, man, hey, man, it wasn't me, man. I said, hey, shit was somebody else, man. Now you trying to gather everybody else onto you also so that they can suffer with you. Why the fuck would you do that? If I was to find a loophole in this society, legal, I wouldn't, and I see other Jacob descendants suffer, I would tell them the loophole. It's just like telling them this truth, which is saving them from a lot of ass whooping, or, you know, symbolically ass whooping. A lot of trouble, a lot of suffering, tribulation or something like that. Not that, because we do need to go through tribulation, but I mean like your daily life, man. You know, then you tell them, just like with the scriptures. You have the truth of salvation unto the everlasting soul, immortality, and here it is. You want to pay. You want to make people pay to get this truth. You a fool. You know, you're trying to make the Jacob descendants pay for basically eternal life through Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Of course, not you giving it, but you giving them that walkway path in order for them to be able to actually walk toward it. Just like 2nd Ezra chapter 7, which is that that mansion over there, but you need to go through a very horrible, rough road in order for you to get there, right? So you tell them how to do it instead of pay me and then I'll tell you how to do it, because even if they pay you, they might not make it. It would rather that you just give it up for free. Well, that's the same thing in this world, right? I wouldn't want another Jacob descendants that I like to suffer the thing. So, for example, I'll give him examples of what I've been through, what I seen other people went through and stuff like that, so that he doesn't have to. That's the true Jacob descendant way. You tell the other, like, hey, don't do that. This will be the result and end result, and this or this might happen on that path what you're taking right now, so that he is aware of it, and that he doesn't get caught up in the things that is to be avoidable, you know. But yeah. Anyway, let me go on. You know what it says right here? Yeah, so we shall not altogether go unpunished. You got to suffer for the things that you have done. You know, it's only right. Like I said, if you do a lot of crimes and stuff like that, when you get caught, shut the fuck up and go do time. Don't be like, it wasn't me, man. No, I wasn't there. Trying to figure out an alibi, trying to cover yourself. Basically, what you're trying to do, you're trying to escape the judgment that you do deserve. But in your mind, you don't deserve it. Because you think like, man, I ain't going to, you actually do deserve it. What are you talking about? You do deserve it. So if you're trying to get away from petty crimes on the street, for example, you stole something in the store, now they caught you. Now that's easy. They can see that's you. But anyway, let's say they got a footage of you going into some place, and then maybe 3 months later they actually finally caught you. And then you start making up excuses. Man, it wasn't me, man. I was there. I was in another place and all that day. You know, excuses. Fuck it. Just be like, hey, you know what? You got me, man. Shit, man, you got me. Okay, show me my jail. I don't need no trial. I did it and put me in jail. Yeah, that's it, man. That's what we need to do in Yahweh B'Ashem El Shai. Fuck it. You got. Fuck it. But let's say if Yahweh, verse 12. So Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 12. Let me see. It says here, let me read this one. For thus saith Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable and thy wound is grievous. That's what we brought upon ourselves, because Leviticus chapter 26. Leviticus chapter 26 tells us for every crimes, every loss that we broke, every time that we broke it, the Most High will add 7 times more punishments upon us. 7 times more, 7 times more, 7 times more. I think 4 or 5 times, 7 times more. But still, it's just completion. And that's the wound that we gathered upon ourselves. If you see a field full of thorns and thistles and stuff like that, are you going to run through it with no shirt on? That's what the Jacob descendants did by going through the heathen nations, running, having fun, probably on a skinny dipping type shit with some Edomite shit. But anyway, on a skinny dipping type thing. And yeah, you had that a lot of orgies going on in the, I forgot the feast name, which was a few weeks ago. And you had a lot of people just catching AIDS and all these type of things and stuff like that, which I don't really invest my time in, because they're lying to you. They probably gave people shots and stuff like that. Because think about it, back in the days they used to push for that sodomites were the one that got the AIDS and stuff like that and passed it around. Now they're pushing sodomites actively. Think about that. So it's clearly not that thing. It's not the sodomites that brought the AIDS. They did it. They did it themselves, because now they're pushing for it. Back in the days they was pushing against it. But anyway, they're lying to you. They straight up lying to you. Anyway, let me go on. Notice this right here. You do have a few cases, of course. I saw a few, but I don't think it's as awful as they say that it is. I think them Jeffrey Epstein type of things were worse than what they say that our people are doing. They're lying to you. Of course, that's the truth, because they cover stuff. Anyway, let me go on. Verse 13. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. Our healing medicines is Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. Hosea chapter 6, verse 1 and verse 2 shows you that. The Most High is the healer. Well, nowadays he sent the Lord Yahushai. He's the healer. And then we get healed off of him by his word. And if you don't believe in the Lord Yahushai, you're not going to be healed. Simple as that. If you believe only in the Old Testament, go find the Levite. Make sure he's a Levite too, because if he isn't, all y'all die. You need to be one of the sons of Aaron in order for you to be a priest. And if you're not, you're going to die that day. That's in the scriptures. You need to be of the sons of Aaron Go find one of the sons of Aaron right now. Specifically them. Because that's what the scripture says, that those are the priests. One of the two sons of Aaron. Eleazar and Ithamar. Only they. No one else. So, all the Levites are... I'm sorry. All the priests are Levites, but not all the Levites are priests. Moses did not get the priesthood. His descendants didn't get the priesthood. And the others also didn't. But anyway, going on. Verse 14. Jeremiah 30 and 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with a wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. That's why you see, that's why you see there's a so-called thing. It has like 23 million views. There was a Ammonite in Japan. He was talking about, you know, when he sees so-called, I think it's West Africans over there, I think. I'm not sure, but it was someone. But he said so-called black people over there in Japan started moving into his neighborhoods, and he's afraid of them. You know, he says their skulls and their bone structure and their muscles and stuff like that. It's like petrifying to them. And, you know, he's afraid of being pinned down. I'm like, where the fuck did these things come in your head for, man? What do you mean being pinned down? But anyway, he has this image that he's going to be attacked by the Jacob descendants over. It might be Hamites, I don't know. Because I seen a few and I looked at them, but Hamites over there. But I seen others that were, you know, I would think they're Jake because they're from West Africa. Anyway, let me go on. They're afraid of them, and they associate us all together in one bunch. Anyway, so to them, they're all us, and we are all them. You know, so. Then you see the comment, I'm talking about this. Then you see the comment section, wait. Then you see the comment section talking about, hey, wait a minute. The people that actually drop bombs on you 2 times, those are the people that you ain't afraid of. But you be afraid of us when we come in there over in Japan. Those are the type of comments. Well, that's because the Most High wounded us with a wound that cannot be healed. Everywhere we go, you're going to be a spectacle, a reproach, as a reproach shall be upon you. Let me give you an example. Now you had. Let me see, let me look it up. Jeremiah 24 and 9. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt. To be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse. In all places where the eye shall drive them. So, when we go to these countries and stuff like that, you have us being a reproach. That's why, for example, in Isaiah 4 and 1, it says that the women say, the 7 women shall take hold of one man. They say, please let us give us your last name, just to take away the reproach that we're going to have, and that we have in those days, by the way. Well, that's that reproach. That's that reproach that all Jacob descendants have, especially the men. We have that all the time. And the elect is not going to have that. So therefore, you will have the seven women and one man. Those 7 women shall those 7 women that shall take hold of one man. They're going to want to get away from that reproach. And what is that reproach? Let me read it again. This is a precept for Isaiah chapter 4, verse 2. I'm talking too fast. Trip myself up. Anyway, 24, Jeremiah 24 and 9. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt. Not for your softness or stuff, for your pain. because the Lord want to hurt you. It's the same way that when your girl, sleeps with somebody else, right? It hurts, right? Cool. That's what we did with the Most High. We went to another God. And then it offended him. And he been killing us for the few he been killing us. I think actually that's funny. He's been killing us for like maybe the past 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years. Yeah, since you could kind of say it's actually more than 4,000. But if you go back to the Greek Empire, which is 2,800 somewhat years ago, until now, that's about 4,000, something like that. But it's even more. It's even more than that. But yeah, he's been killing us for that a long amount of time. And yeah. So that's funny. But yeah, that's the payment of adultery. So when somebody get angry because his wife committed adultery, I understand. Lord willing, it ain't happening to me. I know why. I'm gonna give you an example. If you ain't got no gold, how you gonna steal gold from me? I ain't got no gold. Might have something else, but I'm talking about gold right now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna steal your silver then. And you can't steal that because it's in my mind. You can't. Esau probably has a way. For example, the brainwash thing. Yeah, you have to alter it then. It's like saying you put a gun to a person's head and saying, "Say it's blue," and then he says, "Okay, it's blue, man. Please don't kill me." You didn't convince him. You made him admit. That don't mean nothing. Convincing a person and making someone admit something are two different things. Because when you turn around and when you leave, he still believes what he believes. But if you talk to him and you persuade him so hard that he actually does believe what you just said, that's how you got him. And that's what Esau is doing. He is the creator of doubt. And that because Yahushua said, "O thou of little faith, why didst thou doubt?" And then he started to sink. Well, Esau has all these doctrines all over the place to make you start questioning the scriptures. Like, is it real? Hey, he got you. He got you right there. The creator of doubt, Esau. And the Lord's going to spit you out too. Because you ain't hot, you ain't cold, you got tricked by a devil. You got tricked by a cave demon. It's funny as hell. Anyway.